his messengers to warn his creatures.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah wa man attaba'a hudahu ila yawm ad-din, amma ba'd. Chapter number 57 of Kithaab Tawheed, on saying, if only such and such. This chapter is talking that you should not use if. Had I done this, this would not have happened. But it already happened. So using this if will only open the door for agony, pain, sorrow. Something happened already. We are crying over spilt milk. The milk is already spilt. So what's the use of crying? It's only the shaitan who wants to make you feel bad. So the Muslims here, if something happened already, he would say, قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ وَمَا شَاءَ فَعَلْ. What Allah decreed had happened. And you don't open the door for the devil. As you're going to know, this if opens the door for the shaitan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَقُولُونَ لَوْ كَانَ لَنَا مِنَ الْأَمْرِ شَيْءٌ مَا قُتِلْنَا هَا هُنَا. They say, if we had anything to do with the affair, none of us would have been killed here. This is Surah Al Imran, Surah number 3, Ayah 154. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah, he talks about the munafiqeen, the hypocrites. So they're saying, يَقُولُونَ لَوْ كَانَ لَنَا مِنَ الْأَمْرِ شَيْءٌ مَا قُتِلْنَا هَا هُنَا. When they were brought out to fight. So among themselves, normally a hypocrite will be brave or coward? Coward. And you have to keep in mind that the hypocrite is a non-Muslim. The munafiq, he wants to live forever. So now he is on the front line. He doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to die. So they were discussing among themselves, and they were saying, if we had anything to do with the affair, in other words, had we given a chance or an option or a choice, none of us would have been killed here. So Allah told them, even if you are in your homes, among your families, when the appointed term for you comes, you will come out and you will die. Nothing can delay your death or hasten it. It's already fixed. On such date, you will die. So neither the bravery will hasten your death, nor cowardice will delay it. Being brave or bravery, that will not bring your death before it is due, before its date. Neither this nor being coward will also postpone and delay your death. So that's why the Muslim, in the battlefield, he remains firm, because he knows one day he will die. So being here on the front line doesn't mean that he's going to die. And if he dies, alhamdulillah, straightforward to the Jannah. And you will die as martyr. But the hypocrites, they don't want. They are afraid. So that's what they were discussing among themselves. They say to each other, the munafiqeen, if we had anything to do with the affair, that means this decision, this matter, none of us would have been killed here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, الذين قالوا لإخوانهم وقعدوا لو أطاعونا ما قتلوا. They are the ones who said about their killed brothers while they themselves sat at home, if they only had listened to us, they would not have been killed. Again in Surah Al Imran, Surah number 3, Ayah 168. So the hypocrites, they are saying, had those who went out, those who had gone out with the Prophet ﷺ, had they listened to us and stayed along with us, they would not have died. So it's only the shaitan now who wants to play with their mind and wants to make them feel guilty and feel bad. Someone already killed. Can you bring him back? So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them, if you can ward off the death, save yourself from death, you yourself. Because when death comes, that's it. أينما تكونوا يدرككم الموت. Wherever you are, death will reach you. ولو كنتم في بروج مشيدة. Even if you are in lofty, tall buildings, the death will reach you, wherever you are. So when the time comes, you cannot escape. In Kithaab Al Amry, it is mentioned, and it is authentic narration. You know, in the past, the prophets and messengers, they would be giving the chance. In other words, the angel of death, he would come to them in the form of a human being. And that's what exactly happened to Musa alayhi salam. You know hadith that Musa alayhi salam, he hit the angel of death. The angel of death came to Musa in shape and form of a human being and asked Musa, give me your soul. Because that's how the angel of death used to come to the messengers and prophets. Now, the natural reaction of Musa was self-defense. Just imagine, put yourself now in Musa's place. You enter your house, you are in your room, and someone comes and says, give me your soul. What will be your reaction? Natural reaction, right? That was the reaction of Musa alayhi salam. So he hit the angel of death, and the angel lost his eye, because he came in the form of a human being. So the angel of death went back to Allah. And he said, you have sent me to one of your servants, he doesn't want to die. So Allah sent him again. And he told him, now go and tell him, oh Musa, put your hand on the skin of a cow. And the number of hairs that your hand, your palm can cover, will give you 1 year. For every single hair. How many hairs you can cover with your hand? Many. 100, 200. So for every hair will give you 1 year. Musa said, now Musa didn't hit, because now he started what? He realized that this is the angel of death. So he didn't hit him again. Musa said, and what is after that? He told him, death. He said, now, take me now. I don't want to live. But he said, I want to die close to Jerusalem, Bayt al-Maqdis. Remember, when Musa came from Egypt with Bani Israel, they became rebellious. So Allah made them lingering in the desert. They could not find their way out for 40 years. And Musa died while they are still in that situation. So he asked Allah to bring him close to Bayt al-Maqdis. And then he died. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, he said, when on the night of Isra, I passed by the grave of my brother Musa, and I saw him praying in his grave near the red sand dunes. Red sand dunes. So in Kithaab Al Amry, it is mentioned that the angel of death came to Sulaiman alayhi salam. He came to Sulaiman alayhi salam to take the soul of his advisor, the advisor of Sulaiman alayhi salam. And he was told by Allah, take the soul of the advisor, where? Not in Palestine, in India. So the angel of death is wondering, Allah told me to take his soul in India, but he's now in Palestine. And the angel of death was looking at the advisor. Then he left. The advisor said to Sulaiman, that man is staring at me. His looks I didn't like. I don't want to see him again. Please send me to India. He asked Sulaiman, please send me right now to India. Sulaiman commanded the wind, take him to India. The angel came back. The man is not there. Where is he? He's in India. Go back after him to India. So when it comes, cannot escape. When your date is due, finish. An Arab poet, he said, "Man lam yamut bis-sayf mata bighayrihi." If you are not killed by the sword, you will be killed by something else. تعددت الأسباب والموت واحد. Many causes, but only death once. If you are not killed by the sword, maybe you will be killed by the car accident, anything. There are different causes, but it's only once you will die. But the munafiqeen, they don't want to die. They are coward. So they are saying, الذين قالوا لإخوانهم وقعدوا لو أطاعونا ما قتلوا. Those who said about their brothers who were killed while they themselves sat behind. If only they had listened to us, they would not have been killed. No, they would have been killed, because that is their date. And see what the shaitan, they are using F, F, F. So the Muslim will not do that. The believer will not use F, because something happened, it will say Allah decreed, and what Allah decreed happened. That's why the Muslim would say what? قدر الله وما شاء فعل. What Allah decreed happened. And what Allah willed happened. You don't say, had he done this, it's too late. Yes, before we have to take the precautions. For instance, someone died because he died in an accident, but he was not wearing the seat belt, and his head hit the windscreen. So the lesson for us that we should always fix and fasten the seat belt. But we should not say, had he fastened his seat belt, he would not have died. He died. He died already. So what is the use of this saying, had he fastened his seat belt, he would not have died? If Allah decided and decreed that you will die on that day, at that moment, even if you are fastening the seat belt, right? True or not? True. But as we should always take precautions. Before something happens, we take the precautions. You wear your seat belt, as the Prophet ﷺ, when he went to the battlefield, he wore the crash helmet, and he also wore 2 armors, not only one. So before, you have to take the precautions. So this chapter talking that you should not use F, because this F only will make you feel bad and will make you feel sad, and it will increase your sorrow. It will increase your sorrow.
Keep them his messengers.
On behalf of everyone here at Peace TV, wishing you a Eid al-Fitr that is blessed upon you and your family.
Peace TV English, the solution for humanity. The night of decree is better than 1,000 months. The benefits of worship and the vigil in the night of power.
Ramadan, which is the topic of the show. Do you have any advice for our viewers?
Asad Ahmad.
Especially in the blessed month of Ramadan.
The Ramadan is the reminder of rectifying our behavior.
Dr. Ali Shaban.
Ramadan is a unique opportunity for every Muslim.
And the reasons behind this revelation and its power emphasized as the human heart transcends towards godly glory.
If you apply Ramadan to the rest of the year,
Tariq Ali.
Surely you are going to be much, much better in all fields, all aspects.
And the gratitude of the soul reaches out to worship the Almighty One on this esteemed night.
Just to stick more and more of the time to the Holy Quran.
Dr. Muhammad Ibrahim.
This is my advice to all my Muslim brothers.
Let's strive to seek the night of power and its bliss in Blessed Nights, next on Peace TV.
Keep them his messengers.
It's narrated in Sahih Muslim from Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, احرص على ما ينفعك احرص على ما ينفعك واستعن بالله ولا تعجزن وإن أصابك شيء فلا تقل لو أني فعلت كذا وكذا لكان كذا وكذا ولكن قل قدر الله وما شاء فعل فإن لو تفتح عمل الشيطان. The Prophet ﷺ said, seek carefully what benefits you in the hereafter and seek help only from Allah and neither lose heart. If any adversity comes to you, do not say, if I had only acted in such and such way, it would have been such and such. But instead say, Allah has decreed it, and what He willed is done. Verily, if opens the way for the work of Satan. Something had happened. First of all, you have to work hard and seek carefully what benefits you. Always look for what will bring you benefit and what will bring you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And always seek Allah's help. Always. Don't feel weak and lose heart. Always seek Allah's help and don't lose heart. If any adversity befalls you, comes to you, any calamity, anything, do not say, if I had only acted in this way and that way. Because something happened. Had he listened to me, it wouldn't have experienced this. Or such and such would not have happened to him. But it already happened. So only we deduce lessons. That's why when something, incident or accident happens, there is something, they call it the learned lessons. The lesson that we learn from this incident, right? And you'll find they will circulate that story. For instance, fire happened in any oil refinery or chemical plant. After the investigations, what is the lesson that we have to learn? Because we will troubleshoot and try to figure out what is the root cause so that we will avoid it in the future. So this is the learned lesson, the lesson we learned. But it is something happened. But we have to learn for the future. So Islam does not tell us that you should not learn from such mistakes. No, you should learn. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, the mu'min should not be bitten twice from the same hole. In other words, you should not repeat the same mistake. So something happened, we learn from it and try to deduce lessons. And that's why we study history. So we learn from the past, from the experience of the people, etc. But this chapter is talking that something happened, you learn the lesson, but you should not give the shaitan the chance to make you always just living in sorrow and sadness. Because if you open the door for the shaitan, so you will remain in that situation always sad. No, life has to go. You have to carry on living. We learn the lesson and we carry on with our life, and we don't open the door for the devil to make us always just thinking about that incident and make our life is always full of sorrow and sadness. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, he said, احرص على ما ينفعك. Seek carefully what benefits you and seek help only from Allah. Seek help only from Allah. Your son, rahimahullah, may Allah have mercy on him, was overspeeding, he was not wearing the seat belt, all that stuff happened. What to do? You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, help me, oh Allah, and give me patience and reward him and forgive him. But you now, you learn the lesson. His brother is driving too. They tell him, see what happened to your brother? So fasten your seat belt, don't overspeed. Are you getting it? Etc. Because here the Prophet ﷺ is saying, because if you say if, had, because if opens the door and the way for the shaitan to make your life miserable. to make you always just keep living in that status of sadness and sorrow. So the remedy, you don't give the shaitan the chance, and you say what Allah decreed had happened, and we learn the lessons and we carry on with our life. Is this chapter clear to you? So this chapter, which is very important, and this actually is in line with the contentment of Allah's qadr. The Muslim at the end of the day, he should believe in the qadar and qadar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is Allah's qadar, alhamdulillah. And we have to be satisfied and have this contentment and this internal peace. May Allah strengthen our iman and your iman. Ameen. So this, my dear brothers and sisters, brings us to the end of chapter 57 of Kithaab Tawheed. Chapter number 58 of Kithaab Tawheed. Prohibition of cursing the wind. Prohibition of cursing the wind. You remember the previous chapter when we cursed time. People, they curse time. By cursing time, you are cursing Allah, right? Because time is nothing more than this envelope or container or frame within which things happen. So who causes the events to take place? Allah. So now the wind is blowing. Who is causing it to blow? Allah. So why should you curse the wind? If you curse the wind, that means you are cursing the one behind it. So that's why it is prohibited. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, maybe it is a cyclone, tornado. Of course, people, they don't like this thing. But there is a wisdom behind that. If, for instance, this tornado or cyclone hit a place where there are many Muslims, and they died and drowned, we know now that, alhamdulillah, if they were drowned, they would be martyrs, inshallah, right? They will be shuhada. And always keep in mind that whatever happens to us, there will be good after that. Something good will come out. Always. Because there is no evil in Allah's actions. It's only the way we perceive it. But in reality, it is khair, it is good. Are you following or not? You remember what happened to that guy who missed his flight? He thought it is evil for him. But it was not. It was mercy in disguise. Second day, he's saying, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, I was not on board. In one of the airports, one businessman, again, he has an appointment and meeting in another country. He was late. By the time he reached and entered the lounge, the plane was taken off. He started shouting, cursing, all that stuff. A few minutes later, the plane crashed. Plane crashed. So our understanding is always limited, and we think and perceive things, and we think they are evil when they are not. When they are not. So you should not curse the wind. You should not curse the wind. Because the one who drives it, the one who commands it, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing moves in this kingdom without His permission. Nothing happens, no single leaf falls without His knowledge. The leaves of the trees, every single leaf that falls, He knows about it. My dear brothers and sisters, and dear viewers, we will be discussing Kithaab Tawheed in the coming episode. Till then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.